Drumchapel, it's time to vote. Thursday 21st of November, the polls open in the Drumchapel Anniesland by-election, and we're here to encourage you guys in Drumchapel to get out and vote in your numbers. At the last election for the councils, we had a 35% turnout. That was only 7,000 people voted for the councillors out of 29,000 across Drumchapel and Anniesland. Your candidates who are standing to represent your views and your values are as follows. We have Adekemi Giwa from the SNP. We have Elspeth Kerr, who's an independent candidate. We have Christopher Lavelle, who's from the Greens. We have Alan Douglas Lyons from Reform UK. We have Stephen Morrison from the Conservatives. We have Davina Rankin from Labour. And we have Michael Edward Shields, who's representing the Liberal Democrats. These are your 7 candidates standing in the by-election, and it's important that you pick the one who stands for your values. Drumchapel TV has reached out to all the candidates, and we're going to go speak to the ones who have responded to us and hear what they have to say.
Hi, I'm Elspeth Kerr. I'm standing to be a local councillor at Drumchapel Anniesland ward for no party at all. I'm standing as an independent because I believe in people, not politics.
Hi, I'm Christopher Lavelle. I'm standing on behalf of the Scottish Green Party to represent the people of Drumchapel and Anniesland. I was born in Drumchapel, raised in Temple, and I now currently live in Anniesland. I'm deeply connected to the area. I love the place. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great organisations in the area, and I'd like to work on behalf of the people to ensure that people's voices are heard and we can ensure that our facilities, amenities and services are supported so people across the area can enjoy the life that they want to live.
Hello, my name is Adekemi Giwa. I am the Scottish National Party's candidate for the November 21st by-election in Drumchapel Anniesland Ward 14. I am a social entrepreneur and I'm the founder and the director of the Play Centre Glasgow based in 11 Lady Lone Avenue, Drumchapel.
I want to be a councillor for Drumchapel Anniesland ward because I can see people reaching out and not getting responses at the moment, and I want to be able to stand up for the people that live in this ward and let people know that they are worth being stood up for and the issues that they have are real and somebody cares.
Why do I want to be a councillor for Drumchapel and Anniesland? Well, growing up in Anniesland, for me it was really important that my mum had local services and amenities to help me as a youngster grow up and actually reach my potential and have a good life basically. And it was actually through the help of councillors that supported my mum with housing, that supported my wee brother when he was a baby, getting into nursery, various other services, free school uniforms, dinner tickets, getting involved with sports clubs. So for me, I've seen the local impact that councillors can have on people, and if they're working with local organisations, chairing Glasgow Eco Trust, coaching in football, it made me think this is another angle that I can actually help people in my community and be part of people's lives positively. And that's it really, is actually to, so dare I say, if I look back in my life, I think what have I done for folk? And it's like, I've helped people, I've added value to my community and I've been part of it.
I want to be a councillor because I've been in this area for over 17 years. So I know the pains, I know the concerns of the area, and I am someone that if I have a solution in my hand, I try to provide, and the Play Centre is an attestation to that. And I care about this community. My local church before I transferred is up Drummer Road East, where I did social church outreach for the community for several years. So I want to be a councillor because I've seen the need. There's poverty in Drumchapel. Drumchapel is one of the 10 most affected areas in Scotland, according to the Scottish Index for Multiple Deprivation. But also, there are good people in Drumchapel, they're resilient. And I believe together we can change the narrative. And that was what prompted my social work in the first instance. And that is what I believe, and that is what I stand on. And to prefer a change of the narrative of Drumchapel community, Anniesland and the environment. To empower people that there's always a better version of everybody. All you need is just that little nod, little push, little support, little help.
So I'm not interested in the big things, although I am. I'll get involved in anything big as well, but it's the small things I think make a difference to people's lives that I want to get involved in. So previously, when I was a councillor, I helped people get new houses because their housing situation wasn't suitable for their family situation. I've helped people, just little things like dampness in their houses and stuff. They've been moved out when the housing were telling them they weren't going to move them out, and I've got them moved out because the spores that they breathe in. It's more about people's lives, and just to be there and be responsive and be involved and be a voice, because people don't have enough of a voice. I believe in the film The Bug's Life, we've got the ants and the grasshoppers, and we've got the grasshoppers telling us what to do, and we just go, yeah, okay, we'll do that, and not raise our heads above the parapet. But we're the ants, and there are more of us, and we need to actually get together and have somebody strong representing us, and be able to know that we're strong enough to stand up and say that and be that voice ourselves as well. I believe in empowering people as well.
Well, the difference I hope to make as a councillor is that when people ask about me as a councillor, if I was a councillor, would be able to say that Chris helped me get support my kids at school, he helped me get involved with organisations, he helped me improve my local park, their amenities. So it's not so much about exactly I aim to do this, that and the next thing. It's about, for me, listening to people. You've got 2 years in one move for a reason. That means you need to do twice as much listening. So it's about getting people's ideas, getting people's thoughts, and seeing what people actually need, and then saying, look, this is what I can try and do for you, or this is what's available to us. How do we deal with that? And I think that's the best thing to do, is actually just to listen to people and see what people actually need, rather than me coming and saying, this is what I'm going to do for you.
So the difference I hope to make is make Drumchapel a better place, and through our interactions, giving people information that is needed to help them to make informed choices. With all of this put together, we'll be able to better our lot as a community, and that's very important for me and to me, and also to hear what the grievances of the people are and see how we can work things out to make life a better place for each and every one of us. Life is already hard. War in Ukraine, the elections in America affects us one way or the other. The policies from the UK government at this moment is not so favorable. Cuts here and there, labor cuts, especially for the elderly. The winter is coming, the harsher temperature is setting in. What will become their lot? So, but when they know somebody is there, I'm sure we all need that. We all need somebody to lean on. That in itself gives us a feeling of I'm not alone. And the work I've done in Drumchapel attests to that. Anyways, so it's just a continuation of the small community interest company to the larger community of Ward 14. That is why I want to be a councillor, to support and make a difference that I know is already there. We just need to tap it to make it a reality.
So when I was a councillor, there were so many issues. Obviously, you've got your potholes, you've got your bins, you've got your housing situations. I'm really passionate about housing being a human right, and so many people are living in substandard housing that isn't getting fixed for them, and they're just left to be there. I identified them by talking to people, by being there, by being involved in the community, by being at breakfast in a blether, by just, as soon as I wasn't a councillor, I started a community group called Vine, and through that I've been helping people with issues as well, all the way through, just helping to empower them to write their own emails, to be able to, but I'm there beside them.
So the main issues I've found in the area, so chatting doors and speaking to people, a lot of people talk about their waste, lack of waste services, even actually just the safety of being able to get to waste amenities. Another part is actually the lack of services and amenities in the area. So when I grew up in Temple, learned to play football and played my first football team at Dulceta football pitches. I had my 10th birthday and other stuff at the hut. I learned to improve my reading at the library at Temple Community Centre. I learned to swim at Temple Community Centre. I went to Drumchapel swimming pool, Temple swimming pool, sorry. I played karate and did boxing at Temple Community Centre. And now when I walk about, that pool's shut down, it's derelict. The bowling club's shut, the football pitches are shut. The hut's, again, fighting for funding every year. The actual community centre itself, around the area, doesn't look very safe. My wife doesn't enjoy walking about the area because she's kind of scared, again, the local, because of the degradation of the area. So for me, it'd be about coming into the area and saying, how do we actually bring funding into these spaces and places? Drumchapel, again in the 90s, there was lots of destruction of houses, so housing's a big issue. There's still a lot of empty land, which again creates a blight. And it means that when people walk about, they feel that the place is neglected, and they say, so what's the point? Nobody cares about this place, I live here. And people end up kind of not being able to take as much pride as they want in the area. So for me, it's about saying, we need to get houses built, we need to make our streets safe, we need to make our local services accessible, and we need to divert funding to local organisations to actually be able to run things that our kids can learn to swim, can improve their reading, can access sports, and can again keep themselves active and keep themselves out of trouble. So that's what I hope to achieve, and that's what I think the area is sadly over the years started to be neglected. And when speaking to people on the door, that's what people have also told me, so I hope that answers the question.
The major issue is a lack of adequate social housing. I've been on the waiting list for over 5 years. 2 of my sons has congenital conditions, medical conditions, and we filled several forms, different housing associations in the community. And the list keeps growing and growing. Today you hear you're number 10. By the next week you go there, you're number 15. Not because somebody is shunting the queue, but because there are people with more greater need than yours. And it's been like that. So there's a need for provision of social housing, affordable social housing, so that we can all be, accommodated in decent accommodation, because that is vital. It's a basic need for any human being to be decently and comfortably accommodated. So accommodation is one. And another thing is the bad roads. The bad roads everywhere. This needs to be fixed. And like I said earlier, Drumchapel is considered through data as one of the poorest areas, 10 poorest areas in Scotland, not even in Glasgow or in Lanarkshire, alone, but Scotland-wide. So this tells you something. There's need for economic empowerment. There's need for support for the local people, for business startups, so they can walk around their families, their children going to school, while they do, something, and they're able to still create a rich family life, which is very, very, very essential to build, good citizens in the community.
Incredibly important, because everybody I speak to says they don't know how to get a hold of their councillors. The councillors aren't there. They're not turning up at community council. I'm on Drumchapel Community Council because as soon as I wasn't a councillor, I was on the community council before I was a councillor, and as soon as I wasn't, I rejoined the community council to be involved in what's happening in the ward. And the conversation the other night was, there's only one councillor in this ward that turns up. And I don't think that's right. We need to have somebody turning up to all the community events and everything to do with the community and knowing what is going on, so that they can stand up and say if something's not going right.
How important is it that I'm visible in the ward? Incredibly important. I think if you're a local councillor, you're that first point of call. It's kind of local democracy in action, In an ideal world, I think local community councils would have funding and be able to drive amenities and drive services. And I think your local councillor, as I said, is your first point of call, is your person of access. So if you don't know who that person is, how do you expect to connect with the City Council, the national government, Westminster? Because ultimately, that pathway takes from your local to your national. And I think the local councillor needs to be able to be visible, be able to accessible, be able to meet with people, be able to talk to people on their level as well, of all different ilks and all different backgrounds, and be able to empathise and show compassion. And I think it's a really kind of easy answer in the sense that they just need to be there for folk and they need to make themselves available. And I think it's a vocation more than just a job.
Yeah, it's very important because if you're on the quiet bit, you may not know what's going on. I had to join the Drumchapel Council because at the time, our Kinfon's Drive Community Hall was going to be taken over by private investors and all of that. This is our community. We need that. We need a bigger one. And as it's where with that one that is there, we couldn't afford to allow people from the outside, if you want to call it that, to take it over. So I had to join them to reinforce our strength, to say no, our community hall is not for sale. So it's very important for me to be visible, because without that, you will not even know what is going on in the community.
So people should vote for me because I will be there. I'm already there. I'm already at all the meetings in the community. I'm already at everything. But to give me that, I hate the word power, but it's a connection. It is a power, but I hate that we're all equal. But just to give me that power to be able to be the voice for people, but without any political interference or anything, genuinely be the voice for the people.
Why should people vote for me? I think for me, as I've said, I think I've got a deep connection to the area. Dare I say, I'm a local boy. I love the area. I think I moved back to the area after living away for a few years because I have that connection. There's a lot of things about my life that have been formed by being here, and it's about delivering for people. I think I work as a project manager. That job's about solving problems, and I want to be able to take that into my community and help try and solve problems. So from party politics aside, it's a job focused on people, and I want to be able to come into my community and help the people in it.
People should vote for me because I keep referring to my work, because the good book says by their fruits you will know them. I have worked in Drumchapel for over 7 years, doing outreaches for different people, adults, children, single parents, young adults as we call them, that is the teenagers until their early 20s. I've run different programs, different outreaches in trying to support them so they could go further in their education, whether they want to go to college or university. I've been a mentor. I'm a mentor with MCR Pathways for people in young pupils in Drumchapel High School and Knightswood Secondary School. Graduate mentor for students in the university and those that are just about to go into the world of work as an alumni of Glasgow Caledonian University. So all of these experiences, all of this work is what I'm bringing in. And of course, I'm an advocate for equity. I'm an advocate for equality and justice. I'm an advocate for fairness. So putting myself out to be voted for so that all these values can be used to the advantage of our community and also represent my community in whatever needs that has been identified, and find a lasting solution. I don't believe in temporary measures. I believe in lasting solutions, to get our community to our desired end, to have a positive outcome. So this is very important for me. And of course, like I tap on doors and talk to the elderly, the labor courts is not doing them good. And I'm going to raise my voice and continue to raise my voice about that. Because the good old book said we should take care of the gray hairs. Those are the elderly people. They shouldn't be punished for anything. If I thought the government wants to take out money, maybe they should take it out of their salaries and their benefits and their bonuses and all of that, and leave the poor people alone to sort their lives. That is why I want to be voted in. I stand against oppression. I stand against egalitarianism or fascism. That is why I want to be voted in, so that the drum chapel of my dream can become a reality. Thank you.